in general, like if you could make a comparison of the regulations in EU and in US for medical devices and the AI-enabled medical devices, what do you see are the biggest differences? And do you? But maybe then we'll get to Megan's perspective. What does it look like for you? I mean, US is the biggest market. Everybody from Europe is eventually trying to get there. How does it look to you?
So all of these things really do make the regulatory framework complicated, right? But at the bottom line, what I think the FDA is trying to do in particular to navigate all of this is really focus on best practices for software development and best practices for AI/ML specifically. So that's the part that's common in terms of standards, local standards or international standards, but really thinking about, you know, developing, it all comes back to when you're developing a product, whatever industry you're in, you have to understand who is it for. You have to use practices that, in terms of development, right? Because software is manufactured during the design and development phase. You have to be thinking about things at that stage, and then after in the monitoring stage of making sure that it actually does what you say it's going to do, and that it's safe for the people and that are using it, that it's intended for, and that it's effective. So if you think about all of the noise, if you will, of everything, all of these different frameworks, there are specific things to understand for each environment from that regulatory perspective and maybe from a requirements perspective for your product. But at the end of the day, you're trying to create a safe and effective product. So some of those practices haven't really changed dramatically. And that's where, when we look across not just different geographies for medical devices, but just different industries, especially when it comes to AI/ML, if there's a practice that works well that you can adapt into your organization, that would be something to consider. So
Mhm.
that's where there's only so much complexity you can understand. It kind of comes back to, what does that product need to do? So I think that helps to offset some of that complexity that's happening.